Welcome to Electric Boogaloo Part 2, a podcast dedicated to the glory that is the movie sequel. On this show, you'll join myself, Tadj, along with co-host Stephen Romo, in a monthly discussion with a guest who feels particularly passionate about yet another Part 2 film. We hope to bring to light the beauty, the horror, the desperate money grabs, and the welcome second acts that make up the sequels we hate to love and love to hate. Stephen and myself make no claims to be experts in film, nor do we claim the rights to any of the films we review. We just feel passionately about dumb stuff and we're bored. If you're bored too and have ever played Electric Boogaloo, this might just be the podcast for you. Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Electric Boogaloo Part 2, the show that brings you everything you love to hate and hate to love about movie sequels. Today might be more of the latter of that two, if those are our only choices when it comes to sequels. With me as always, my co-host, Stephen Yanez Romo, sipping on some coffee.
I hate to love and I love to hate hot coffee.
That is true. If I have known anything to be true about Romo, it's his love and hate and love.
I just want to drink this coffee, but I don't want to cool it down. I just want hot coffee, but there's a threshold.
No, there's only so much. Only so much you can take as a human. And as always, with us, of course, our wonderful producer, Justin Miller.
Hi. Hey,
Thank you for being here today, Justin. You're a little
I'm barely here,
worse for
man.
the wear, it seems like. Yeah.
Barely here, yeah.
Well, thank you for pulling this all together and helping us get this done. As always, the being the wonderful producer that he is. Today is a special edition of Electric Boogaloo Part 2. Although we did not follow our mission statement to provide an episode every month of the year, this is still technically our anniversary edition of Electric Boogaloo Part 2. So as such, we decided to do something. We went back to our very first episode. For those of you that have been listening since day one, you know that
I don't even know what we did in our first one.
no, you know that we did. It was Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, that's right, it is.
And to brighten the horizons of all of our fellow miscreants, we have brought back, you know her, you love her. She's actually been really running the gamut, so to speak, in Tucson and Phoenix, as well as other locales.
We're not going to introduce you at all. We're just going to talk
Stand-up
about
comedy.
you.
No, we're just going to talk about you forever.
To quote Jan Brady, am I invisible?
It's this thing called women's lib. It means that
We get whatever we want.
whatever they want. Ladies and gentlemen, back again to reprise her role with Electric Boogaloo Part 2, Bethany Evans.
Woo! Hello. Congrats on 1 year, guys.
Yeah, thank you for coming back and joining us for another show. So, Bethany, you kind of took us through the ringer today.
Aren't you glad you had me back?
Dude, that was the worst.
I didn't even introduce what movie it was. I think it's gonna be Bethany's. Okay, so Bethany, what did we watch today?
Okay.
What did you drag
What
us
did you
through?
put us through?
So this is coming from the guys who made me watch Weekend at Bernie's Part 2.
I
a good
honestly
movie.
think this is revenge.
a goddamn
this
good
is
movie.
Now that we're done with the day, I seriously think this
At
is
least
revenge.
Weekend at Bernie's, the original was good.
Right. Well, okay. Full
Okay,
disclaimer.
so what we watched the Brady Bunch movie,
Yes.
and then
1995 classic.
95 classic, and then after that we watched what is, in my opinion, a better film, A Very Brady Sequel, which came out in 1996.
And there might be like two of you that are like, those movies are great.
You're
Chances are
wrong.
you haven't seen them in over 15 years. And if you watch it, it's going to be like the worst thing you ever seen. It's terrible.
It was.
Nothing
the first
can
one was
really
absolutely
make you
terrible.
I mean, I would-
enthusiastic about these movies.
No.
Not all the most powerful marijuana in the world or the magic mushroom tea
We gave it
or
our
spaghetti.
Well, we'll get to the
We'll get to
mushrooms and the spaghetti,
mushroom spaghetti.
I disagree. I think you can get high enough to enjoy these movies, as I did today.
I feel like we were kind of there for the first 20 minutes of the first movie.
I really wanted to.
We all
but it never- it was like,
we had high expectations.
right there.
Yeah,
Literally.
we had high hopes.
It was like going on a
Literally
roller
high
coaster
hopes.
that like you're about to go over that big drop, but nothing ever happens. You
Like,
just kind of
that's just
slowly go backwards.
How it is being my friend, guys.
Yeah, that's true.
What happens?
It's all build up with Bethany.
No.
No, no. Okay, so yes, we started off with.
That was kind of sad.
That was.
That's what it's like
Depression's
being
real,
a
Not
man.
fan.
true at all.
Bummer summer. True.
This coffee's hot.
So yes, a very Brady movie. No. The Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch movie, and then a
And
very Brady
It
sequel.
is Brady Bunch the movie, and then a very
Oh.
Brady sequel. So we've got Brady Bunch coming out in 1995. Budget of what? $12 million. They grossed
Ridiculous.
90% of which was spent on the wigs.
90.
Serious.
And
only thing
what's
good
his
about that
name?
movie.
Davy Jones came back and
Yeah.
and
Davy
did a
Jones
little
from the Monkees.
updated version of one of
Actually,
his
they
hits.
had 3 of the 4 monkeys
They did
in the movie.
They did.
Yeah, so.
They had to put their names on
They
like
literally
cards.
did,
You're like,
yeah.
oh, that's who they are.
just in case you're not aware, in '95, which would have been, I think, still odd. I feel like I had the monkeys in my life growing up.
Jesus, how old are you, man?
So Taj is 95 years
No,
old.
not like, I mean, obviously, I wasn't
So
watching
Tadj
the
is a
syndication
vampire.
in the same way that
A
we didn't
vampire.
watch, none of us watched the Brady Bunch in real time.
I did.
mean,
Oh,
even
Funny story
Justin
about
was.
I-
Grandpa
yeah,
Tadj.
it's true,
He's
it's
actually a draft dodger.
Yes, yes.
And he's still a long-haired hippie draft dodger.
Well,
yeah.
it's gotten shorter. So it was actually considered a box office success. $54 million in the
It
box
was
office.
1995.
It was 1995,
There
and
wasn't
this movie.
There wasn't a lot
fucking-
going on. Like the internet didn't really. It was
No, it
like,
wasn't a thing
It
yet,
was
really.
just like AOL was like a
Windows
niche thing.
95, bro.
You could get your mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were
Yeah.
excited about Windows 95.
The Rolling Stones did their commercials, what started up because they introduced the start button.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty
The
monumental.
Spice Girls were just coming big.
Yeah, that's
What
true.
was that?
Yeah, it's
95 was a
true.
good year.
Yeah,
It was
real
not
good year.
actually. It was not a good year. It was
a very Brady year.
a very Brady year.
And what that movie showed us is that the Bradys were not something that would fit into the current environment of 1995.
Yeah, like the first 10
they-
minutes of that movie is just a montage of 90s. It's like
Yeah.
cappuccinos, body
Cell
piercing.
phones.
Cell
Whoa,
phones.
everyone's
Bad
got 'em.
grunge music. Yeah.
Reading a book while driving.
Dang,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, that
nihilism.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Reading books while driving was
Snarky
totally
bumper
something we did in the
stickers.
90s.
And then so like the first 10 minutes of the movie does that, and then it's like here's the Brady Bunch, and then they do the whole intro, and then they ride that premise and that joke for 90 minutes.
Well, before we don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
But hey, that's my synopsis of the movie,
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna
let's-
cut my mic off and let you guys have fun.
yeah, before we get too deep in conversation, let's hear what Romo, who obviously thoroughly enjoyed the films, has to say about that first.
Shit. Okay, so the Brady Bunch, Brady Bunch, the movie, is essentially it's a 90-minute movie, and it could have easily been compressed down to about 15 minutes. So the movie is about the family hanging out. Pops is an architect. Somehow they owe taxes on their property, and they have a real jerk neighbor who's played by one of the guys from Spinal Tap.
Michael McKean.
Michael McKean.
No, wait, I'm thinking about it. Sorry.
Yeah, you-
never mind.
No.
So they're down $20,000, or else they
Laverne
have
and
to.
Shirley, that's what you were thinking. I'm sorry. I had to say that out loud.
Laverne and Shirley.
Thank you.
Again, Tadj is 195 years old.
I watched that when I was in
That's-
high
that's
school.
Laverne and Shirley.
Real time on our color television.
Next, you guys are going to tell me you don't remember Mork and Mindy.
What's that?
What the fuck is that? Yeah. Come on.
Anywho,
Anyways,
so they have to come up with $20,000, otherwise they're gonna get kicked out of their house. And so the father tries to sell some buildings that he's coming up with, and it's no success. But the kids are like, they somehow find wind of it, and there's a talent show that awards the winner $20,000, and
exactly.
and they win, but in between that was about the
Oh my
it was
God.
like a best of episode of the Brady Bunch. They just redid classic
Yeah.
scenes from how long was the Brady Bunch on the air? Like 12 years?
No, it was
like
like
5 or
years.
6 years.
Oh, that's-
Yeah,
they
it
made
was
2 movies
1969 to 1974.
Okay.
It actually did
Okay.
not do that well in
5 years.
its regular time frame.
Well, joke's on us. They fucking made $54 million and got green-lighted to make a second.
yeah.
But anyway,
Right
that's the
away.
whole movie. There's really and really shitty dance sequences. And again, it's in the 90s, so they're like in a mall. Or no, I'm sorry, they're at Sears. And it's don't fucking watch that movie again.
It's true. I'm pretty
don't-
sure this
actually-
movie's banned by the Geneva Conference.
Don't say that. Be
Yeah.
like, oh, that movie's so good, and like, oh, it's so funny.
it's not.
Fucking watch it again, because
not.
you personally email me stevenyannisroom@gmail.com if you watch that movie and you can come up with a valid excuse to tell me that that's a half decent movie. I would love to have that argument with you.
Well, I don't think that
I actually, Steven, I completely agree with you. I'm 100% on board, actually, with your synopsis, because there's really no nuance. There's no nuance in story. In fact, the story is so like there's like pinpoints where you have to sort of remember. Oh yeah,
You have no idea what the fuck's going on.
useless. Yeah, 3 useless remind you that we're watching the Brady Bunch scenes later where the dad goes on this. And it's like those parts aren't funny. So when they try to parody the original show, it's not that funny. And you spend like 15, 20 minutes watching these scenes and it's like, oh yeah, let's get back to the story about how the neighbor wants to get their house and how they have to come up with $20,000.
The only thing half funny. The only thing half funny.
It was terrible.
Well, let's not forget about the potato sack race that may or may not
That-
have
no,
happened.
No,
never
okay,
happened.
that is the Mandela effect. Yeah. Okay, there was never a potato sack race
there was
scene
definitely
in the
a
movie.
potato
There
sack
was
race scene in the
definitely
movie. We
a
missed
potato
it.
Okay,
sack
but
race.
then again, there was definitely a Shazam, right? With
No.
yeah, no,
No,
it never
no, no,
happened.
No, I
It's
believe that
real.
one. No, well, okay. So Bethany, you came into this thinking that the second one was better.
Yeah, absolutely. The
And
whole point of
then-
this movie is just a setup for the second movie where they correct all the problems. There are total character
I don't
nuances
think
in the second
I don't
film.
think they dug that deep and be
Oh,
like, oh, we're just
yeah.
gonna heat the water, but don't jump in yet.
Oh, yeah.
All right, but come
Hang
on.
on tight.
have to
Shit's about
be-
to get crazy.
1 year later.
Right, but there have
Directed
to be
by M. Night Shyamalan.
there have to be some
Actually-
redeeming characteristics of this movie.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Ah,
I mean, okay.
dude, the neighbor,
the horny
milfy
neighbors,
neighbor
yeah.
who's like basically the prototype
She
for
was
Samantha
alright.
Jones in Sex and
Right.
the City, by the way.
Yeah, actually.
She's pretty good. Mike, a lot of the actors are just better than the material. Like Michael McKean's really funny. James
Yeah.
Avery gets underused. Gary Cole, who turns out to be really funny later in his career, like I think it's interesting to watch actors who are better than their material.
Right.
But then again, maybe I'm just a
Yeah,
masochist.
Adrian Brody as the oldest brother did a hell of a job.
I just, yeah, man, there
It
was
really isn't a
nothing
nice
to
Shyamalan
grab
film.
onto. Like once you realize that that's the gag. Like there's like a carjacking scene. Literally, there's a carjacking. Like I am jacking your car.
Right.
And then like the older brother's like, this is my car and my name isn't Jack. And I'm like, that wow, why is that funny? Why did you get like 50 people on a film set up lighting? Like, why did you spend all that time?
And that's in
Have
public,
the actors
too.
rehearse their dialogue, set them up, do like a screen test, and then like all of a sudden, for that line, for that little gag, it was not funny. And like I said, the story wasn't that.
It wasn't just that scene; it was 90 minutes of that.
I
Well,
was
you were
90 minutes
compelled
of
by
that.
Marsha's teen modeling career.
No, Jan going crazy is kind of
Okay,
fun.
yeah, let's talk about
Kind
that.
of
Yeah,
fun.
let's talk
Kinda
about
fun.
RuPaul as the
even-
counselor.
Well, yeah, RuPaul as a counselor was one scene.
What was her name? Mrs.
Cummings.
That's right.
Better
C-U-M-M-I-N-G.
work it. She came back. I mean, that
The
was kind
second
of like
one, yeah.
when RuPaul was really kind
You
of
can't
a
get more
culture
90s than
icon.
RuPaul.
No, literally.
No, at that point, and that I would say because
I mean,
she does.
she's still
have-
relevant, but come on. Even I think even RuPaul would maybe like there's nothing more 90s than RuPaul.
Me in the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
You go, girl.
She has
RuPaul
a-
saying, you go, girl.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
her
better
own song
work.
playing in the background.
Yes.
Fuck.
Work it.
To be so lucky.
So then she does make an appearance in both. I would say that her appearance in the first movie is better.
No way. Okay, we'll get to that, but
What?
no
No.
way.
That's debatable. I
That
can't
is
believe I'm
so-
backing
Because
up
of the
a
musical
Brady Bunch
backtracking
movie.
and the fact that she says you better work and all of that. I think that it just works better in the context. Okay, Jan's insanity. That's a
Now the
pretty
coffee's
fun-
too cold.
That's a pretty.
This is
fun-
actually going to be more entertaining than talking about Brady Bunch. Is the temperature of my coffee?
Steven, it would be really entertaining if I went and put your coffee back into the microwave and warmed it up for you.
That would be
than
that would be very entertaining.
if you really want me to
radio.
do that, I can do that.
I
because-
think
We'll
we
get
could-
there.
I think we can do that during the break.
No, there's going to be no break. This is it. This is a 20-minute show, people.
No.
These movies are so terrible.
No. We've still got.
This is so fun. I'm so glad that I'm spending my day off doing this
Yay.
with you
So
guys.
There comes a moment when we realize that we're not just doing this for entertainment value. We are actually guardians of our community. We need to ensure that the people know the truth about these movies.
Yeah. So we watched this movie.
So
that
you don't
wouldn't
have to.
Exactly.
We're cavaliers, really.
So you're welcome.
I just don't understand. Like, there was a thing that started happening in the 90s. So
Right. I think that's what I wanted to tap into.
It started in the 80s where movies would go back to the 50s
And
50s set of
reboot like
value,
popular
right?
things.
And so yeah, that was a thing. Back to the Future, obviously. But
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah. Well, no,
That was
no,
later,
no. That's
yeah.
later. And so what happened in the 90s is this kitsch factor
Mhm.
where people wanted to go back to like 70s television shows. That was kind of a new development, and
Yeah.
I think, but the best that ever happened out of all of that, they didn't need to make movies or anything. Weezer, that one Weezer video, that should have been it. That was the height and the crest
true.
of that idea, and it should have died since there. So after Buddy Holly, all of the Brady Bunch reboot movies were not necessary.
Yeah.
What else happened around that time? Where
You know what's funny is that I'm trying to think back, and I can't really recall a whole lot of sitcoms that were made into movies. It was mostly because it was right
Well,
around the
the
same time that we're seeing.
Flintstones.
Yeah, the
Right, we got to the
Flintstones,
Flintstones, but more so things like the Coneheads or Wayne's World,
Yeah.
or like they took those kinds of ideas and made them into movies, and that was working. I mean,
yeah, but Coneheads was
know,
a thing that was started in the 70s, right? So there you go.
right,
Almost
and that's
tapped into
true.
it. But
yeah.
I mean, SNL had their whole 90s.
So what you guys are,
run.
it like kind of spearheaded this trend that got way more prominent in the 2000s of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
rebooting 70s sitcoms.
Just
Yeah.
the idea
For
of
movies.
kitschy retro
yeah.
being juxtaposed to our modern set of values in the 90s. Which I
Whoa,
don't
the
remember.
90s are crazy.
Yeah.
Because it was instant money for the company, man.
Totally.
knew
They
it.
made
So,
$56
yeah.
million.
We're sitting around talking about this shit. They won.
That was the
They
beginning
won.
of the end, right?
Donald Trump's president.
Yeah.
We lose.
Yeah, the idiots won. Pretty much.
the
The
fucking
idiots
Damn you,
won.
Sherwood Schwartz! Just in case you're wondering,
Ah.
Sherwood Schwartz was actually the original creator of the
he-
Brady Bunch.
and
And
he-
at first
yeah.
they were called they were called the Brundy Brood.
The
I think.
Brundy
before
Brood.
before it became the
Brood.
Brady Bunch. I'm pretty sure it was something along those lines.
Yeah,
The Brundy
yeah.
And then like there was
Brundy
yours, mine, and
Brood.
ours, which was
Well,
kind of
and-
Is
and
that a
his
biker
idea
bar?
was-
Yeah, like
Brundy
what?
Brood.
Yes.
You guys
If
want to
you
go
can
down
read
the
this
Brundy
shirt, the
Brood?
bitch fell off. The Brundy Brood.
I'm telling you, it would have been a
Actually,
totally
that
different
Sounds
show.
show
like
needs to
fucking
happen.
Credence.
Yeah, that needs to have. That's a much better.
That'd be
idea.
fucking.
The
I would
Brady
watch that.
I think that's more like
Very
a
Brundy movie.
sludge '90s
Yeah,
rock band.
the Brundy Brood.
The
But
Brundy
anyways,
Brood.
well, I was going to say that the original creator of the show. So the original concept of the original show was a family in the 70s that had a set of values from
Right.
the 50s.
Well,
Right.
they actually
Yeah.
a report came out that said that 30% of families are mixed, not mixed racially, but
Whoa,
mixed,
dude.
right? Like, I don't mean to push any buttons in the racial world. No, mixed in terms of divorced parents.
30%.
30%.
Families are mixed. You know who you are.
Divorcees.
When?
That's
When-
terrible.
when was-
this is when the show was coming out, the late
Tadj-
60s, early
Tadj-
70s.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that was in the 60s.
Yeah. This
I'm
is
like,
late
I'm
60s,
like,
early
not
70s.
now, right?
No.
Because
It's much
obviously-
higher now.
Yeah.
But
I think
there were a lot
blended
of
family
families
is
that
the
had-
term we're looking for.
Brundy broods,
The blended brood.
blended.
The
No,
blended
Whoa.
brood.
The
Not-
blended brood.
there's no need to go to a racial place. No,
No,
so,
I was talking about coffee, dude. Brewed and then blended. Duh.
Racial.
I don't.
Anyways, all right. Weird moment of silence.
That was a weird moment of
That means there
silence.
should have been a ding. Next thought.
Next topic. So yes, they realized that this was a phenomenon that was happening. However, it wasn't happening public enough for the show to be popular in its own time. there weren't enough people accepting the fact that divorce was becoming way more commonplace at that point in society. And
So it
so
was
the
hella
show
edgy.
only lasted 5 years. And then we get things like, Mork and Mindy.
That's longer
and-
than some
You know what
mixed
I was-
marriages.
What I was thinking about when you were talking about the Buddy Holly video is, yes.
Happy Days, right?
Yeah, how come we never saw any kind of Happy
Right.
Days?
Because Buddy Holly video.
That was
it
all
was
we
like
needed?
the best that you could do. That was it. Like
also
I swear, the whole retro kitschy thing. The
fonts aged really bad, too.
We definitely didn't need what was Starsky and Hutch, and then the Angels,
No,
Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's
Oh, those are
Oh,
Yes.
hell
Yes.
no.
Yes.
I will defend Charlie's Angels.
Please
Come
don't,
on.
because you're
Full
currently
throttle?
defending the Brady Bunch movie.
I don't know if we're going to be asking you back
and
next
a very
year.
Brady sequel.
Spoiler alert.
Bethany
Next
Evans-
year.
No. So yeah, the kitsch factors definitely played a huge component because it did. It made $54 million in the box office. It was considered enough of a success that within a year they were releasing a very Brady sequel. So at a certain point, it's just about making that cash.
We could have been the
Dollar
only people
bills.
on the planet watching that movie today.
Probably were.
Yeah,
Probably
you're
not.
probably
It
right.
plays on cable TV like 24 hours a day.
But it's
What?
not
No,
streaming
literally.
anywhere.
I know. Like, if you have a
Nobody
television
watches
set from
cable.
the 90s, you can still watch
that's
the
all
Brady
it's on
Bunch
it?
movie.
Brady Bunch.
All right. So having said all of that, we probably will not be recommending that you watch.
Is
And let's go
is this
on
the,
break.
The movie.
the good stuff or the whatever?
Oh, that's just nicotine.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you might not want just
Yeah.
nicotine.
Oh boy.
Yes. So, yeah, I think that Bethany, do you feel
wanna
remorse?
defend the first
Yeah,
film at all?
we'll let you take
we
the
already
the
had
floor.
our stances on it.
Okay, but here, actually, let me ask this: did you see the second one first, or did you see the
Were
first
you
one first?
watching
Do you
the
even?
same
I
movie
actually
as us?
saw the. Oh, I'm not defending the first
No,
one
I
at
know,
all.
but I'm just wondering
I
if
did
ordered
see
you
the
something.
second one first.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, and I
There
was
you go.
like
There you go.
7 years old when this movie came
There
out.
you
So
go.
I thought it was like funny, and I thought Marsha was glamorous. And like when you're a kid and you see something later in life, of course you realize it's stupid, but there's
Right.
a part of your like childish heart that
Mm.
isn't jaded and mean to everybody,
I will say this:
that appreciates things
Yeah.
like this.
Oh Jesus!
So I'm jaded and mean. to
Basically, I'm
You're
looking at you,
She was
Justin.
looking at me the entire time.
Dang.
No, like
okay,
I'm not
fine.
really sort of. Like I thought it was amusing for about 10 minutes.
right. They just took a
That
really
RuPaul
long time
was
to
in.
get to the story.
And like honestly, the first 10 minutes was okay because it captured the nostalgia of that show. It was so
Right.
cheesy. Like I mentioned, it would have been cool to have a laugh track in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I wonder
The
what
whole
their
movie.
story is.
Because otherwise,
Yeah.
it was
There's
happened
no
to the laugh
laughing
track?
without
Yeah.
the
It
It was
laugh
just like
track.
staring like, oh, like that was a joke.
right. But it
Yeah.
was besides that. That's the thing about this movie is that it was spot on. And for me, when Cindy first walks through the fence to the next door neighbors to take the mail back, and suddenly it's like, oh, it's actually 1995, and these people are freaks. That moment for me is really cool, and I really like
Marijuana is a hell of a drug.
No,
man.
I'm just saying that I feel like this movie between the two, and we'll talk about the second one when we come back from our break. But this movie definitely encapsulates that concept of
They're freaks.
it's really
Cast
weird.
sync real. Tadj was captivated.
I was captivated by that moment.
That'll
you
be on
know?
the back of the
To bring it back
VHS.
to the 90s, he was kickity captivated
Kickity
Grandpa Todd.
captivated
throughout
for
the
real,
whole
yeah.
Brady movie.
4
No.
canes out of 5.
Well, did you see this movie when it came out, Justin?
95, I was, God.
47 years
I was
old.
47 years old. So I was coming off like my third divorce. And I had a cell phone on me all the time. And I was driving around reading a book.
That's true.
Drinking a cappuccino.
Yeah, drinking a skinny cappuccino. No, I remember when it did come out, and I had no intentions of seeing it because the Brady Bunch show was very boring.
So, did you guys ever watch the Brady Bunch show?
Yes.
Oh, we've seen it, but
We've heard all the stories.
I'm not gonna
but-
TiVo.
But
Me
watching
neither.
the original
Yeah.
Brady Bunch, watching the
Awkward.
original Brady Bunch, you never like, oh, I gotta
It was
hurry,
always on
I
like
gotta
Nick
hurry
at Night.
home.
It was cool.
You just throw away an
I
external
gotta
hard
hurry
drive
home
right
and
now.
watch the Brady Bunch. Like nobody ever did that ever.
No,
it was a thing that got syndicated and it was just
Yeah.
on in the background while you're cleaning your bathroom. I mean, that was the Brady Bunch. It was, and you got used to it. It definitely had a style. And the first film, the one we watched today, did an awesome job replicating that style. And that's all they did.
I wonder if the house is the same house. Like, is it the same actual
most likely,
set?
actually.
Same house.
Most likely. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there was a sound stage that they actually had the original props and everything.
Here's the
from
real
that film.
question, man. How many years do we have to wait to get a home improvement movie?
Whoa!
I'm still waiting for Married with Children. Actually,
That'd
that
be
was
good.
happened
That would
first.
be a pretty interesting
Dang.
movie, actually.
But it's all them now.
But
It's
that's
all
God.
them the same.
but we are at that point where pretty much everything that we did enjoy in our youth is possibly being turned into a show. So that's the real question.
That was the Brady Bunch movie.
They kicked off that trend.
It kicked
It
off
definitely
that
was.
trend.
It definitely was at the beginning.
There was the beginning of the end. Like, people stopped writing new things. It was like, oh, well, we can redo the Brady. We can redo Starsky and
So
Hutch.
we can all agree that the first Brady Bunch movie was a piece of shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I would not recommend it to anyone.
Total garbage. I'm really mad
We
that I
woke
paid
up,
$2.99 to
We
rent
watched
that
this
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
It was as terrible as the original show.
I came into
Then
the
we
scene that I was
watched
going to
the
be
second
defending
one
it.
and did a podcast. And that's how we wasted a day. Wasted a day.
I'm not gonna sing.
That's
Wasted
another.
a day.
But what do you think if we took a break and then just dove right into the second one? Because I think there's going to be a lot of attacking on Bethany on this one.
I don't know. We'll,
This
we'll
is
see.
the
We'll
best
see about
day ever.
that. Listeners, what shows do you think they should be making into movies now that there's nothing off limits anymore?
Or what
Maybe-
show do you think they should write that hasn't
Right?
been written before?
Give us an idea for
Whoa.
movie sequel to a
You
movie
just
that's
blew my
never
fucking
been
mind right
written.
now.
And we'll
Yeah,
be
let
right,
us know what show should be written that has yet to be written,
and the sequel.
And then
And
we'll
then
steal
I'll
your
write it.
idea and make a lot of money.
And then we'll write it.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with part 2 of Electric Boogaloo Part 2.
An elephant stepped on my face.
Sheer jam. Sheer jam.
An elephant stepped on my face.
Sheer jam. Sheer jam.
An elephant stepped on my face.
Well, it's like I always say. Well, it's like I always say. Benny, Vidi, Vici. Benny, Vidi, Vici. Benny, Vidi, Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. Well, like I always say. Like I always say. Caveat emptor. Doesn't that mean buyer beware? Yes. Yes, it does.
Do you guys see that Arcade Fire came out with fidget spinners that have their album on a little USB, and they cost $115?
I did see
Why?
that.
Why?
It's been an interesting day.
Because much like fidget spinners, the Arcade Fire is something I just have no use for at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Up, shots fired. I listened to
Dang.
Funeral this morning, or no, yesterday morning, and still love it.
Yeah, funeral's dope.
I'm gonna be one of those jerks, I guess.
We're old, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back, folks. A little bit of pop culture. Give you a little info from the insiders, like Stephen Romo. He's got his finger on that pulse. So
Mhm.
whenever
On
I
that-
I
on that
need some
fidget
On that
spinner.
fidget spinner.
Oh,
on that
God.
on that fidget. Oh my good lord.
Fidget spinner.
I my first experience with a fidget spinner was just recently with my niece and nephew. They have a fidget spinner.
Duh.
Yeah, because they are 9 and 6.
They have one that they share, or they each have
Yeah.
a fidget
There's
Can you
one in the
clarify?
household, and I think that my brother-in-law Joe confiscated it from somebody in one of his classes. I think he teaches 4th or 5th grade, so I don't even know if it's theirs per se. But I will tell you this. I will say this about the fidget spinner. It spins amazingly well.
does.
Hmm.
If you want to bring back something with relevance, bring back Pogs. I would play the shit out of
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
They're
There you go.
back in ALF form. So yes, we're back. We're talking more about the Brady Bunch films, specifically during
Is this
half.
coffee?
That is coffee. Specifically in this segment, a very Brady sequel.
A very Brady sequel.
Very Brady sequel, which was
Excuse
greenlit
me.
immediately
Bless you.
following.
Allergic to really shitty movies.
Yeah. It was greenlit immediately
Whoa.
following the box office quote unquote success
George
of
Glass.
the Brady Bunch, the movie that came out.
That's right.
Yeah, so they gave him another 15 million. They said go make another Brady Bunch movie, and they only ended up grossing 21 million for this one.
Because they learned the first time.
Because it was better than the original, but the original turned a lot of people away. They're like, no, we don't want to see the sequel because the original was so bad. But objectively, the second one has more laughs. It's really
It really did.
It's definitely
Yeah.
better. It says so on the
It
box.
says so
Oh,
on the
yeah.
Which
box.
I own the DVD, by the way.
This is
Yes.
better
Yes.
than the first
Bethany
one.
Bethany paid $9.99 used
At
for
Bookman
Jesus.
on
Yeah,
April 10th, 2013.
So yeah, this is one of the
It was a
things
good day.
that happened.
Whatever changed
like
all
early
of
on in
our-
our
all of our lives.
relationship, we used to go to
One
Bookman's
choice
a lot. I don't know why.
Can
just to
change the
kill time,
trajectory
pretty
of your
much.
life.
Widescreen
And,
collection.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great.
And I remember she was so excited that she found.
Oh
a
wow,
very
you guys got
Brady-
this
Brady
together.
sequel.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
This
We
is
were a
okay.
pretty
For
new
those of you
couple.
that don't know, Justin Miller and Bethany Evans, they live together in the house that we record this podcast.
Yay.
Yeah.
And so yes,
We're,
this is
we're
actually
a blended family. We have
this harkens back
cats
to
and humans.
this harkens back to like the origin tales.
Yeah,
The origin tales.
Aw,
yeah.
that's really it's sweet.
Brady
So-
Bunch, the
Man,
origin
today's
tales.
podcast means so much more to me now. It's not technically your anniversary, although it's
Mhm.
kind of close, right? What holiday party was it?
It was New Year's.
The New Year's.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
no, we're nowhere near it.
No,
Like
we're
basically, if
like
you
6
hate this
months away
movie,
from
you
it.
hate us.
Yeah, if you hate a very Brady sequel, you hate the
Later, guys.
love that Justin and Bethany have grown together.
It's
Yes.
cool. We're gonna break up because of the first movie anyway.
Probably.
What? No,
I
we're
would.
not.
I mean, that's
This-
Remember,
just-
if you tattle on someone, you're tattling on yourself.
Oh,
Yes.
Life
God.
lessons
and
from Mike
you're telling a
Brady.
tale that you're a tattler. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
yes.
God! If you
So-
judge others, you're judging yourself, and that would be bad judgment.
Mike
If you
Brady.
diss Dre, you diss yourself.
Pretty,
If Dre-
pretty much.
Mike Brady, I think, was probably the original mansplainer. Actually, I
Yeah.
can't take credit for that. I think that Hannah or Steph said that when we watched these movies on Saturday. But Mike Brady,
Dang.
he to the extent that in the second one he says, "I think you hit the nail right on the head, Jan. I don't think I could explain it better myself."
but I'll try.
Exactly. It's still like,
But that was genuinely funny. That
It
was
was.
an
That was a
act.
That's
funny
just,
moment.
Yeah, Gary Cole has some comedic timing for
Right.
sure. He's very good in Office Space too, mansplaining
Oh God.
everything.
Yeah.
He has just a funny face.
He does.
you know what's funny is that at this point in my life, the only thing I see him in is Pineapple Express. That's like when I think of Gary Cole, I think of Pineapple Express. I just love him
good-
so much in that movie.
I get him mixed up with he was on SNL and he was in Happy Gilmore as like the super hippie golfer that was
Oh,
like, put the
yeah.
ball in the hole, send him home. That guy.
Yeah.
Kevin Nealon? Kevin Neely?
I think Nealon. Yeah.
Oh
You know who I'm
yes,
talking about.
Yes, Kevin Nealon.
Some-
That was the Saturday Night
somebody
Live
Google
guy.
that,
That
'cause
is not.
we're
That is
not.
that is definitely Kevin Nealon. Gary Cole is not Kevin Nealon. Just to give you an idea of what was popular in the country in 1996, number one movie that year. It actually beat out. Bethany told me this earlier in the Video Music Awards.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
It is Kevin
MTV.
Nealon.
Best kiss.
Best Kiss. It beat out the Best Kiss, which happens between
Will
Marsha.
Smith.
Marsha
Oh, yeah,
but,
yeah.
But yes, Independence Day was the number one movie with the best kiss between Will Smith and.
Vivica A. Fox.
There we go.
Yeah.
Number two was Twister. Number three, Mission Impossible.
These are all best kisses?
No,
Best
this is just top
movies.
number-
Because don't they make out in like the middle of the fucking twister?
Yeah.
I mean, really.
It was an F5 twister. We had no choice but to strap into a water pole and make out.
It's true. No, I don't think anyone wants to watch them make out. Number four was Jerry Maguire. And the number five movie that year was Ransom. So that is kind of a year of disaster. Like a year of
What?
disaster flicks. I'm saying Independence Day,
Oh,
Twister,
like
Mission Impossible,
literally.
Ransom.
Wasn't
Plus,
that with
I was 15. That was tough.
Ransom?
He's like, "Give me back my plane."
Yeah, that was the one. No, that was the one where
I don't think that's ever been said in any movie.
it was Mel Gibson, right? My son, give me back
That's
my
what
son.
it is. I was thinking of Air Force One.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive.
Get
that
off
song
my
was Mel
plane.
Gibson. I
That
didn't
was
look
even
up.
the same
Harrison
actor.
Ford.
Mel Gibson.
No, that's Air
Mel
Force
Gibson
One.
as the president.
back my
Give me back
plane.
my plane.
Good Lord.
Wow.
No, but actually, kind of a cool year in movies still. What else came out that year? I'm choosing to ignore you. That's what's going on right now. Other things that came out that year, we've got. Oh man, now of course I can't find anything. That was the same year
Space Jam came out in 1996.
that Space Jam. There you go.
You lied. Not
I don't
even.
lie.
Happy
I don't lie.
Gilmore actually did come out that year.
I
so
know,
the,
because-
Wait,
Kevin-
Space Jam came
Kevin
out in '96.
McNeilon.
Is that a thing?
Totally.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was number 18 that year in the
How was that number 18? You said. Oh,
because it's a children's movie.
okay.
101 Dalmatians, the live action came out that year.
Oh, that was a good one too.
Scream, the first Scream movie.
Ah, classic.
That's a
Classic.
classic film. Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Another
you got-
classic.
Fucking awesome movie.
Beyond
Amazing.
classic.
I just can't get over the fact that that's the same year Happy Gilmore came out. Yeah, so From Dusk Till Dawn, Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco, Black Sheep, Rumble in the Bronx.
Dang, I love that
Dang.
movie.
96 was quite a year, but definitely not a year that's known for producing any kind of cinematic masterpiece.
And that same year,
Besides
Michael
a very
Jordan
Brady sequel.
announced that he was coming out of retirement.
Who did?
Michael Jordan came out of retirement in
To play
95.
baseball?
Oh, yeah.
Six.
What else?
No, he
happened
went-
that
he
year,
went back to
Romo? It looks like
basketball.
Romo's looking up information. Anyhow, so at this point in the show, we usually ask our guest to walk us through the plot of the sequel.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Generally speaking,
Whoa.
it conjures conversation that has to actually do with what we're talking about. But as
Yeah.
Stephen continues to look through his phone, who knows? We'll probably get.
Also,
all
in
kinds of random
95, the Dow
interjections.
Jones closes above 5,000 for the first time ever.
There you go, Dow Jones. He's
Where's Alex Cack when you need him?
yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the plot of this movie. Wait, what happens again? No.
Also,
So the beginning of the movie is kind of like an Indiana Jones style like action scene where they're out somewhere in Thailand at a distant time, and like two men find this horse, this like artifact, and instead of doing the right thing and returning it to the government, putting it in a museum, they just steal it, as you do.
That's the way that they are in no way like Indiana Jones. But from the shot of them, they look like they're Indiana Jones.
Exactly. So they send it to Carol Brady. We realize that it's Mike Brady, right? And this other figure sabotages the boat and kills Carol's husband. And later in the movie, he shows up and he claims to be Carol's long lost husband. She believes him. They take him in their home, but he's actually just trying to steal this valuable artifact that we find out is worth $20 million. So he has ulterior motives. That's
Is that
Sounds great so far. In fact, there's like 3 times as much plot already in the first like 20 minutes of the sequel. than there was in
yeah.
So
entire
here's the
first
thing.
film.
Yes, I will agree with that. The first movie has a very kind of it's a general cinematic trope that we've seen a million times. We're gonna lose a house if we don't get the money. How can we get the money? Oh, we gotta try all these ridiculous things to get the money. Oh, we'll do this contest to get the money. Oh,
All
yay.
of
At
Breaking
the end of the
1
movie,
and
we ended up
Breaking
getting the money.
2.
you're essentially at the edge of your seat, right at the 5-second mark of a very Brady sequel.
It's true.
Yeah.
You don't know where
Pretty
you
much.
are. That's the thing. Like in the first one, you kind of get an idea right away. But this, I mean, what are we doing? Why are we in
Tadj,
Thailand?
you were drenched in sweat the
I
first 10
was
minutes of
drenched
the
in
movie.
might have been from the
Sweat.
Just Dance.
I was definitely
just-
from what we just
Oh, I
did.
Him
thought
trying
it
to
was the
process
suspense of
the
the
heavy
film
plot of a
story.
very Brady sequel.
I was
There's
so nervous.
subplots going on too. Like we have Jan who invents a boyfriend to try to
George
be more
Glass.
popular. Yes,
Classic Brady Bunch.
His phone number is
storyline.
555 hunk.
hunk. Not to be confused with George Tropicana, who's Cuban.
Who's that?
It's her other imaginary boyfriend.
Oh, cool.
George
Yeah, and then there's
Tropicana.
Marsha, who has a weird. She moves in the attic with Greg, and they put
Yes.
2 and 2 together, and they realize that,
They experiment.
yeah, they're not really brother and sister.
Incest
There's 2 actors in their
subplot,
30s.
Which is,
They're basically like the original Lannisters.
yeah,
like-
exactly. The OG
Except
Lannisters.
not actually blood related at all. Not that I am condoning hooking up with your step siblings, But yeah, they have this moment.
Wow.
It was okay and Clueless, like whatever.
Yeah,
It's the 90s.
there's- Oh my
Anything
gosh,
goes.
absolutely. That's a really interesting tie-in, actually, because Clueless happens right around the same time that these movies
Yeah.
happen. Apparently, right around the mid '90s, we were all questioning where to draw those lines.
What is appropriate in a blended family?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I never made any advances on my stepbrother. But the
Awkward
90s
silence.
It was the 90s.
90s would have been the time to do it.
Cool.
Anything was going around there. Yeah.
No, but it's what I found most amusing about that subplot was how did they just figure that out now?
I just think that's like my favorite scene in the entire movie when they're in the
did they
attic
get
and it's
green
playing
lit?
that awkward song and he's like, Marsha, and she's like, yes, Greg. And the way his eyes just bug out of his face, like, what? I mean, what?
Good on the actress because that was a very sensual. Yes, Greg.
Yes, Greg. Can we just say that all the time now?
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Yes.
Greg.
Christine Taylor.
Oh,
Christine
yeah.
Taylor,
Yes.
who we know and
The Hey
love.
Dude babe.
Hey Dude babe. I mean, I think that's where most of us first saw her.
Which means at one point she was in Tucson,
Filmed
Steven.
right here in Tucson.
Yeah, and
The
where
very
were
end of
you?
Speedway. You take
could have been
Speedway
hitting on
Boulevard
her
all the way
at
east.
the time.
East.
All the way
And
east,
it,
yeah.
it becomes the Hey Dude Dude Ranch.
Yeah, actually, you can find it on Google.
You just
Maps
take Speedway
because
all the way down until it
I
turns into a dirt
did.
road.
I
and
found
then
it
that's
on,
it.
on Google Maps.
We used to smoke weed over there when I was like 18.
Dude.
Yeah, now you don't have to travel that far. You can just do it at home and watch the Brady movies.
She was also in Heat Vision and Jack, which did not do anything. I think that was a Dan Harmon property. That
I have no idea what the hell you
yeah.
said.
Dodgeball,
that's, that's
right?
for you.
She
That's
was
for your
great in
hardcore. fans out
Dodgeball.
there.
Well, because she
Dodgeball?
was married to Ben Stiller for a long time. I was sad when they got
Zoolander.
Like,
Didn't they get
broken
divorced
up.
like
Yeah.
really recently?
Yeah, like a few months ago.
Damn.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff. She's been in some really great movies. Tropic Thunder, Arrested Development.
Yeah.
She was a primary character in Arrested Development for a period of time. Friends, The Craft. Yeah. I'm a big-
Oh
was
yeah,
in The
she was
Craft.
the mean girl in The
She was-
Craft.
doesn't she lose her hair? Or is that
Yeah,
different?
they
That's
put
right.
a curse on her.
Oh wow, did she lose her hair in both Friends
Dang,
and
that's
The
a
Craft?
common theme.
That is an interesting thing right there.
She does
However,
get her haircut in the first film. But
Greg,
anyways,
Greg
Yeah.
Brady, however, played by Daniel Barnes, is most commonly known for being the voice of Prince Eric in The Little Mermaid.
What? That's Prince Eric.
That's Prince
He's so
Eric.
doofy looking.
Besides that, he really was kind of like melodrama TV. He did Golden Girls, Blossom, Beverly Hills 90210, Seventh Heaven.
Whoa.
He was in Clueless, the show too, briefly.
was a
Yes,
show of
which
Clueless? Yeah.
I oftentimes see people as cited from the show Clueless, and I always forget to write it down. But I just
Like
think it's so
Donald
funny.
Faison.
How
from
long was that
Scrubs.
even a show?
A few years. Like
crazy.
it had several seasons.
And again, another trying to turn a movie into a TV show, kind of silly.
yeah.
So yes, I think that's what was missing from the first movie was trying to take those wackier concepts like, okay, hey, we realize that we're not brother and sister, or going even more meta. I think maybe 95 was a little too early for them to be that
Yeah,
meta.
it's more
Where-
self-aware.
I wanted to see, I mean, just because I think it would be funny and whatever. I wanted to see like Carol and Greg, like Carol Brady and Greg.
Yeah.
Brady. Like, because that's what was going on in their real lives, right? It'd
Yes.
be cool to see that. It'd be cool to see like the kids falling apart because of drug addiction. I don't know. Maybe I'm betting that the creator of the properties.
You're getting rude now, man. No, it's
I'm just
the
saying.
Brady's, you know. It's just, you need.
You're saying it's a wholesome proproperty?
It was a
No, I
wholesome
see what you
thing.
mean. Like take it even a step further
not
and
the
mock
Bundy
the like
brood,
real
dude.
life.
It's not the Brundy Brood, dude.
Well, maybe it should be
The Bundy brood.
The
Married
Bundy
with
brood. There you
children.
go. That actually works really well. I like that.
Anyways, you left off synapse.
We've just kind of been touching on.
Oh yeah, okay.
basic
So then
outline.
there's another plot where like Cindy and Bobby is his name, the youngest one.
Yes.
They're detectives, they're playing detective and trying to find Cindy's lost doll, they find evidence
Dun dun dun.
that Roy is not who he says he was.
Yes, which
Dun, dun,
is
dun.
obvious to anyone that has eyeballs in their head, but
I mean, yeah, unless you believe that the elephant stepped on his face.
yeah, this
He
is
got
whole crazy
stretched
thing.
out a foot and a half.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't seen the movie, they pull this bull where Roy, quote unquote, Roy shows up and says, "Hey, Carol, it's me, your husband. I've been gone for all this time." And she's like, "You don't look like you, and you're taller, and your voice sounds different." And he's like, "Oh, well, I got stepped on by an elephant and had plastic surgery, and they stretched me out on the rack, and I'm just so sad without you that my voice got lower." It's just like, what? Like, why does that?
Very believable.
He got
Actually,
reconstructive
very
plastic
believable.
surgery. You must find me hideous.
Oh, and
They just eat it up. Sure.
apparently everyone thinks he's a babe. Is he a babe?
He's like a grandpa babe, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, who we're
But he's
talking
hella
about? We're
awesome
talking
with
about
nunchucks. So
Tim
there's that.
Matheson?
Tim Matheson. Yes,
He was in
Who-
Animal House, right?
yes, he was in
Yeah.
Animal House. He's been
House.
He was in West Wing. He actually was
In the house.
the voice of Johnny Quest back in
Oh
the day.
yeah, I remember that
Dang.
show.
He was on Bonanza, Burn Notice, and the lovely film Van Wilder, which has a sequel
Dang.
called The Rise of Taj that I've still never seen.
That
Something-
sounds like a
something-
future
Should that
podcast
be your
episode.
sequel
I feel
when-
like-
when we do
The Rise of Taj.
That's one option.
Oh, something suddenly came up.
So yeah. So yeah, there's some good stuff going on in this movie. It's also very convoluted. But at least, like Justin says, there's something that holds your
There's-
attention.
Well, the
Right,
RuPaul
yeah.
cameo is better, I would argue.
yes, the RuPaul
Yeah.
cameo is,
100%.
like 5 times better.
Okay, so what you listeners need to understand, I don't even know if we've really touched on it, is that RuPaul makes an appearance in both movies. Oh yeah, we did talk about it for
Yeah.
quite a while.
Yeah.
So in this version, they are at the swimming pool where Greg works as a snack bar attendant, and Marcia is working on her tan.
Yes.
And Jan is there as well. She runs into RuPaul.
She's trying
Mrs.
to
Cummings.
Mrs.
Cummings.
She made a phone call for
a
her
page.
boyfriend
Right.
Yes.
for her boyfriend to page her
George
over
Glass.
Paging Jan
PA.
Brady
George
for the
Glass.
very
Yeah.
beautiful Jan Brady.
and then she runs into RuPaul and then says, hey, I got boy problems. And then RuPaul's like, what does RuPaul say?
Actually,
Fabulous
no,
advice. She tells her,
Yes.
like, if it helps you to have a little mystery about yourself,
Oh dang!
then you go, girl. Do your thing. It's okay to,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
lie a little bit.
Yeah, I think that what RuPaul was trying to get across is, and because she doesn't even say that it's specifically boy problem. She says, is it wrong to lie? And
Yeah,
RuPaul's
there you
like,
go.
I think it's okay to have a little mystery in your life.
Yeah.
You just got to be true to yourself.
And then RuPaul, Mrs. Cummings' kids show up,
Yep.
and there's 3 of them, her daughters, and the, middle child says, why is it always about Moesha?
Moesha.
It's pretty incredible.
It's worth it.
A
Yeah,
real funk version of the Brady.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That's great.
What? Yeah, it was interesting. No,
It was great.
okay.
It was a good brief cameo. That's
There's a few good cameos in the sequel.
yeah.
Yeah. There are some great cameos. We also have Carol Brady, mom, going.
Well, that's
to
in the first one.
That's
Was
in
that the first
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
The haircut?
Oh.
No. Okay.
Oh no! I didn't mean the original Carol
Right,
Brady.
right,
yes.
right. Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
apparently she petitioned to not be in the second one because she didn't like what they did with the first one.
Can you blame her?
No, not at all. After
You know,
today,
yeah.
never again.
You were
No.
talking about David Spade.
Yes.
David Spade's cameo.
David
Wh- wh-
Spade.
which is right around the time he would have been filming Black Sheep.
It
Right?
was actually
With
Black
Tim
Sheep came out the
Matheson.
same year. So yeah, David Spade shows up as a very very hip hairstylist.
Yes.
And gives Carol the exact same haircut that she had when she walked in.
Yeah,
Again,
cute
Carol-
haircut montage with Pavens cut your hair.
Yeah,
Exactly, and that is the most '90s scene. That's the most '90s thing you can do is like have a haircut scene with Pavens cut your hair in the
Pavens cut your hair in
background.
the
I think that
background.
happened in like other films
I think
too
it
around that time.
happened, yeah, in every movie that David Spade was in the mid '90s.
It's kind of like how "There She Goes" is the only song in "So I Married an Axe
Oh
Murderer."
my God, literally.
Which is awesome.
And
Played
then
4 times in that movie.
we have Zsa Zsa Gabor's cameo with
Zsa Zsa
Rosie
Gabor.
O'Donnell at the end too.
Yeah,
That's pretty
very
great.
good.
A
Very
little,
good cameo.
little insider info.
Well, you see, that wasn't at the end. That was literally at the 3.
Oh yeah,
marks.
so they
the
find
movie.
out. That's right. Where were we? They find out that he's a big sham, and then he ties all the kids up, kidnaps Carol, takes her to Hawaii. So they finally go to Hawaii, at the.
for no fucking reason. Like
They had to use their budget.
the movie could have ended, and then like,
Well,
let's go to Hawaii. It's like,
They
fuck
were
you.
shouting out to one of the most famous Brady Bunch episodes where they go to Hawaii and
Right.
find the bad luck talisman, which gets them into all sorts of shenanigans.
Ooh, the malarkey.
Yeah, exactly. But like when they do go to Hawaii, that old talisman actually plays a role.
It does.
Where I think they
It
run
causes
over it.
It causes
and
more bad luck.
Yeah, they what's his face runs over it in his Jeep.
Roy,
while he's trying to-
Trevor is his real name.
Trevor,
Not Roy.
in his Jeep while he's kidnapping Mama Brady, and all wackiness ensues.
Another singing, dancing
God.
number.
Yeah,
This time on the airplane.
thank God
Yeah.
for that. Yeah,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
stewardess calls him out. Says, "Hey guys, this is really weird. Sit down."
They
Shut
lie
up.
fade out back to their seats.
Which okay, so in that respect, they did a pretty cool job of interjecting the weirdness of a late '60s, early '70s Brady Bunch into the current times. I will keep saying though that I think that they did a better job of that in the first movie than they did in the second one.
they did.
I don't think
the
that makes
musical
it a better
numbers
movie.
were better in the first one, but
Yeah.
they were more annoying.
It's true.
Because there were more of them.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first
By
one.
sheer volume, they were more annoying.
The first movie definitely feels more like it's just a really, really, really long episode of the show.
Really, really, really,
Really,
long.
really long.
I mean, to the way that it
Don't-
ends
Shelly long.
with
Yeah,
a with a,
don't-
Whoa.
a
Don't
police
watch
escort
it whilst under the
Christmas
influence
Carol.
of marijuana.
of anything. Don't watch it. I think that it's just a bad idea in general. I mean, if you're diehard about these old franchises,
Well, no
you're-
one's as old as you, Taj.
It's true, and especially not the well.
Maybe like if you eat some mushrooms. Like
Which was a really good scene.
yeah,
in-
that
in
was
a
like
very Brady sequel.
one of the best
Yes,
scenes.
that's something to talk about. So for some reason, the quote unquote Roy in
Kill
a very
Roy.
Brady sequel has a huge bag of magic mushrooms in his satchel. And
Is he
He's a
selling
bad
them?
dude.
Yeah, he's a bad
dudes
man.
just
He was in
have
prison.
Shrooms on him
Yeah.
at all times.
Nunchucks and
Bad.
shrooms.
nunchucks and shrooms. That's
Dude,
another-
Roy is a badass.
He's a fucking bad boy.
yeah.
He gives Bobby a set of nunchucks and sends him on his merry way. Meanwhile, Bobby clocks
And he whacks off his dad's boss. Wait,
Wait, what?
Wax him off hard.
whacks him off hard right on his
whacks
head.
him off right in the head.
Right in the head. Made that head all swollen.
Yeah.
So, ooh.
So he's just randomly smuggling drugs.
That's true. That would mean that he was a
Yeah.
drug smuggler because he probably brought this from another
Yeah.
country as well. Man, this guy is just a bad dude.
He's a bad dude.
Bad dude all around. You know,
Bad
I don't know.
Actually, he
great.
is a babe. Now that we're talking about
Is
him,
he?
I'm like totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad boy type.
I
you know.
mean, that was the impression that everyone
Bad
gave.
grandpa.
Bad grandpa.
And then, and then there's Alice. You know, Alice plays a pretty central role in these movies. And here's the thing that Alice really points out that I think is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's weird in this movie, and she accidentally eats some of those mushrooms as well. But
And walks into the refrigerator for the
yeah.
entire night, apparently.
Alice, I was having an argument with someone recently about whether or not the characters even look like the original
Oh,
cast
right.
members, and
So I was having an argument the other day about a very Brady Bunch movie.
I was because this is important. This is my life. This is what I do for you
we
people.
make good choices.
So yeah, I mean, I've watched these movies twice this week now. Good
Jesus.
grief.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. And my argument was that they did look like the original cast. They said they didn't. And I realized watching Alice what it was. It's not even necessarily that they look so much like them. It's just they're really, really good at impersonating them.
Yeah.
They did an amazing job of like reanimating those characters and taking all those little things that they did and making them really exaggerated and stupid, like over the top.
Like, yeah, like Alice's like quick little one-liners, cheesy puns, and the
Oh,
way
yeah.
she like grins. She
Yeah.
just nailed it, like, but took it a step further and made it
Yeah.
like irritating. And then they're all, "Oh, Alice." I feel bad for Alice. Like they're all just like privileged and just using her, and she's just.
Why do they have a maid?
I know.
Well,
Who
there's
has a
6
maid?
kids.
There's 6 kids, I know, but like
They should make the kids do the chores.
Yeah, little spoiled
What the
brats.
Yeah.
basically
never got spanked.
It's about white privilege. This whole thing.
1995 was a
what-
different
yeah.
time, man.
They literally
96.
have a box of pilgrim costumes in their attic.
Yeah, who
pretty
has
funny.
that?
Yeah.
So yeah.
The Brady Bunch does. The Grundy Brood.
So at the end of the day, I will go on record saying that I came into this thinking that I would enjoy the original more, and I was proven wrong. I liked the sequel better. How much
Which isn't
did I
saying much.
I was gonna say how
I
much did I
mean,
like the
yeah.
sequel? It was I've watched worse movies more than once.
A ringing endorsement.
Yeah, but this is definitely the kind of property that only if you really have some kind of weird affinity for old sitcoms or I don't know a personal harm, you might enjoy these movies, but
Basically, guys,
otherwise-
this was an elaborate cry for help.
Yeah.
Bethany's having hard times, but yeah, Bethany, you were very excited about watching these movies. Now,
I was
after today.
Now you're just.
Where are you right now?
like morally defeated and more depressed than I already was. No, I stand by it. I think that this is funnier. I think the sequel's funnier.
yes.
I still think it's funny. I would still watch this movie in its entirety, but like that's not saying much. Like I think
I mean-
nostalgia is very powerful in this case. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, I still enjoyed it.
I think
it's
that's
funny.
something that comes up a lot of time on this show is that we have all of these emotions tied in with these movies because of when we saw them, who we saw them with.
Yeah.
And, it can really color your memory of a movie.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's definitely the case here. Also, like, I just feel like there should be a gif of Sure Jan. Like, just Marsha being bitchy the whole movie is like my favorite thing ever. I just want to do
She's
her hair
nuts.
flips. She's amazing. Like, yeah,
Oh no, Jan's nuts.
Yeah, Jan's the crazy
we're
one.
we're all nuts after sitting through
Yeah, really.
4
It's
hours.
like watching a 3-hour episode of the Brady Bunch.
That's
Fuck.
basically what it was.
Yeah, pretty much. And like I said, how much did anybody really like the original Brady Bunch show?
That's, yeah. It was.
I don't really know too many. I think there's like emotional attachment to the original show because we all saw reruns when we were young,
Right.
so it's something that we grew up with. But did we ever really enjoy it?
I never did.
Did we ever really get hard belly laughs from the original series? I don't think so. The first movie didn't deliver on that, but the second movie did.
Yeah.
There's like
genuine
4
laughs.
or 5 good laughs, good actual laughs, and that. And that's all you get, and that's pretty much all you can ask for any like comedy. If you can laugh like 5 times pretty well, then that did its job for 90 minutes.
That's fair.
Yeah, because they say what is it like? The average person laughs 5 times a day.
Mm.
You see, so if you
Do
had
they
it-
say that?
yeah, it's a statistic. Yeah, I don't know whose statistic it is, and I'm not going to bother to cross reference that. But anyways, the average person laughs about 4 or 5 times a day. And if you can go in, if you haven't had a laugh that day, and you go to the old movie theater, or if you haven't had a laugh today at all, you should probably see a Very Brady sequel,
Yeah.
and you'll
Yeah.
have 4 or 5 good laughs.
There's no need to watch the Brady Bunch the movie.
Don't
It
do that.
doesn't-
Don't just
I mean,
skip
we all
right
know
over
these
that.
characters.
Yep.
If anything, it's the thing that I was holding on to, is trying to defend the first movie. It having that awesome juxtaposition between their ridiculous family and society in the 90s. That being gone from the second movie actually makes it more tolerable because it just ends up being a 90-minute Brady Bunch episode
There you go.
with a little bit more quirkiness, with the mushrooms, with the nunchucks, with
Mhm.
The animated mushroom
the animated
scene, yeah.
sequence. So
Going to Hawaii.
yeah.
That was pretty fun.
I think yeah, that it is a good indication that the property could be used properly. They just missed on that first one.
4 canes. I give it 4 canes.
I give it 1 harumph.
2 get off my lawns. Nothing's original anymore. Write a new movie.
Man.
Wow. Wow. Have you been sitting here all day waiting to just rip into me? Look, I defended your movie. Your silly sequel
Just
of a
remember,
movie.
guys, when you're judging others, you're judging yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
When you
Just when
diss Stray, you diss
When
yourself.
you tell tattletales, you're tattling to tell the
On
tales.
yourself.
But you're truly telling a tale about that you're a tattler.
Okay.
So yes,
When
Brady,
you're
a
making
very
your
brave
friends watch a
sequel.
terrible
what we
movie,
learned from
you're really
today
making yourself.
is that the first Brady movie is not that good. The second Brady movie is pretty good.
And,
And that I'm a grumpy old man that Bethany hates that she's
Wow.
forced to live with.
forced
Terrible.
at gunpoint.
No, that never
Trevor.
happened.
I don't need a gun to take care of you.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
gonna kick some Brady butt,
Some Brundy brood.
some Brundy brood butt.
Brady Bunch. So yes, thank you for putting us through this today, Bethany.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh
This
yeah.
has
The food was really good.
food was good.
What did we
Oh
get?
yeah.
got
Thanks for the
Pueblito.
grub.
We got Taqueria El Pueblito, local cuisine. It was quite nice. I highly recommend it. And yeah, just good times with good friends. Celebrating the anniversary of our show. And I think that, Bethany, you probably, to a certain extent, went into this knowing that we might not be super thrilled because we kind of forced you to watch Weekend at Bernie's when we did the first episode.
It's my comeuppance.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
you've never
It's true.
seen
If
that
nothing
before,
else,
right?
Right.
The slate has been wiped clean. We are even now.
So the score has been settled.
and so it was.
So tune in next week when we make Bethany watch Weekend at Bernie's 1 and 2 for the second
for
time.
the second time,
And-
twice in a row. No, but honestly, if you do want to see Bethany doing her thing, which stand-up comedy is what you've been doing the most of at this point.
Yeah.
Although last night you had the return of the dating game.
That's right. Me and Mo Urban.
And so that's going to be a steady thing at the Flycatcher?
Yeah, we're gonna do it every 3 months. So the next
Yes.
one's gonna be October 29th.
I saw that. October 29th, which could make for costumed
Duh,
dating
actually,
game
it's going to be
shenanigans.
Yeah,
a Brady
absolutely.
Bunch version of it.
A very
Yes,
Brady dating game.
Oh,
Yes.
a very Brady dating game.
Oh
I
God!
like the way that sounds.
Have you always wanted to date your stepbrother? Come on down.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God, we are giving you amazing fodder
That's
for
true.
your dating game
True.
show. So yes, Bethany Evans and Mo Urban resurrecting the dating game show that Bethany used to host at
Speaking of bringing back
Bumsteads.
old shows.
yeah, bringing back old shows.
Yeah.
But beyond that, which since you can't go to that because it was yesterday, and that would be going
What?
back in time.
Well.
Sunday, August 27th,
What's
you will
time
be
anyway,
joining
man?
the Estrogen Hour
That's right.
crew at Laughs, and you said that is a benefit show.
Yeah, so the Estrogen Hour is produced by Nancy Stanley and Mary Steed, and it's a fundraiser for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Oh, nice.
You can buy tickets now, get them before they sell out. Because
You can get those through laughs.com or something like
Yeah,
that.
you can find the link on Laughs.
Nice.
page.
Yeah, so go to Laughs website. It's probably Laughs.
Or like the Estrogen Hour
LAFFS.
on Facebook for the
And
most
don't- and-
up to date.
And don't forget about female storytellers.
Don't forget
I
about
would
Female
never.
Storytellers. Thursday, September 7th. They are having their Female Storyteller book release in conjunction with the Loft
Yeah,
Cinema.
the Loft is co-producing that.
That's cool.
It's our 5-year anniversary, so we are celebrating by publishing an anthology of the best stories that have been performed on our stage.
Nice.
And
But you
we're
don't have to
gonna-
wait that long. You could show up this Wednesday at the Flycatcher to see female storytellers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure when this will be ready, but August 9th,
Yes.
we have a show at the Flycatcher.
I'm going live.
The
with this in
theme
a
is
minute.
a very Brady. No, I'm just kidding. It's Dog Days. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, August 9th, you can catch us at the Flycatcher, Female Storytellers.
Very cool. Indeed.
There you go.
And then
That's
also
all the
just
plugs.
random stand-up all over this
Yeah.
community. Don't you and Steven here, kind of? Is that a joke? do you jokingly do jokes together?
We do our jokes very serious.
Yeah,
yeah.
no joking involved.
No joking about your jokes.
No BS.
None. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I think now that I'm not drinking, I'll actually have time to actually sit down and write with Bethany.
That would be
Yeah.
incredible.
I think that's like the one of the goals that we have.
I think so. Yeah, stay tuned on that.
Yeah.
I think that would be very cool. I'm betting that a lot of people in Tucson would agree. So, yes, please do that. That'd be awesome. I know it's been an idea you guys have had rattling around for a while.
Thank you.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
no, thanks for letting us come to your home and for subjecting us to these horrible movies.
Anytime. Yeah. If you guys want to watch Charlie's Angels 1 and 2 next, just call
full
me.
throttle.
Yeah.
Full throttle.
We'll go full throttle.
Oh boy.
We'll drink full throttle as we watch full throttle.
Just jump off the wagon.
Good golly, Miss
Thank you for
Molly.
having me. Congrats again, you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Eighth episode in the can. So until next time, folks, this has been Tadj.
I'm Steven still.
Hi, I'm Justin.
I'm Bethany Evans.
And we have been Electric Boogaloo Part 2. Until we see you next time, have a good one.
Yes, 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 Greg. 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 Yes, Greg. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Greg. Yes, Greg. Yes, Greg. Yes, Greg. Yes, Greg. Yes, Greg.